तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृष्ण राधे तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series. Yesterday we discussed the last of the verses in the answer to questions 1 and 2, that is verse number 22. Ato va kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeva bhagavati purvam atma prasadanim. So, so with great joy perform sadhana bhakti. That's what Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his commentary, just a one-line commentary gives. Srila Prabhupada in the commentary explains that it is only to Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Vraja Krishna, that there are intimate exchanges beyond awe and reverence. And this is that form one should make the object of worship, because that can give the highest experience, the highest pleasure. So Prabhupada in his translation discusses from that perspective. And yesterday we began Jiva Goswami's commentary on this series of verses, which is very, very important. And we will have this discussion until we finish the whole discussion from 1 to 6 to 22. This is a thematic discussion, Prakriya Anusari, not Krama Anusari. But of course, we are taking from the Krama Sandarbha, verse by verse commentary of Jiva Goswami, and then from the Shad Sandarbhas. So we went into Anucheda 4. Anucheda 4 is actually Bhakti to Bhagavan is Paradharma. What is Paradharma? Bhakti to Bhagavan is Paradharma. And that is expressed in 1 to 6. And it is concluded in the discussion in 1 to 22. And the opening verse begins, Savai Pumsan Parodharma. And this was the question, what is the highest benefit for all humanity? And in response, Sutta speaks, 1 to 6. And his conclusion is validated also after two verses, that is 1 to 8, by Vatirik. We saw the concept of Anvaya and Vatirik. And then it is further uh, emphatically made clear that some Siddhir Haritoshanam, that the Lord is satisfied not by performance of Varnashram, but by bhakti only. And Savai, that alone. This is confirmed in 1 to 13. That only and not performance of Varnashram. And this is the Paradharma. And even if one renounces the fruit of action, Nishkama, Karma, or one is situated in Gyan, it is not the Paradharma. It is not the Paradharma. And to prove that, Naishkarmyam Apya Achyuta Bhava Varjitam, verse is quoted. And the highest dharma is what? Be situated in a Varnashram and perform some Siddhir Haditoshnam, that is, perform bhakti. Because only bhakti can satisfy the Lord. So, this is the ultimate good, which is asked in question 119. And bhakti is superior to even Varnashram duties. And then further, Jiva Goswami mentions the intrinsic nature of such bhakti. It is ahetuki and it is apratiyata. Apratiyata. It is the Swarup Shakti of the Lord, which propels ones to do action of hearing and chanting the Lord's glories. Saunaka's question was, what is the essential duty prescribed for all human beings in Shastra, and by which Enatma Suprasiddhati? And a definitive answer is given in 1 to 6, and it is elaborated till 1 to 22. So, right now we have been discussing Anucheda 4 of the Bhakti Sandarbha, where 1 to 6 verse has been analyzed. 1 to 6 has been analyzed. Bhakti, pure Bhakti alone is the central message of all Shastras. And it is Bhakti alone that is the essential mean prescribed for completely fulfilling the self. Yenatma Suprasiddhi. So, why? Means this is the only means. That is the Parodharma. And Bhakti leads to Bhakti. Bhaktya Sanjayate Bhaktya. And in order to distinguish it from conventional dharmas, the word para, supreme, is being added. So, this is the real dharma. And even that parama dharma has been mentioned in 112 also. So, bhakti unfolds in sadhana and sadhya. And in the beginning, there is sadhana in the form of hearing chanting, which eventually leads to prema. Although there is a cause and effect between sadhana and sadhya, that is not the case, because bhakti is the self-existent potency of Bhagwan, and it cannot be brought about by any cause that is distinct from it. Bhakti is causeless, ahetuki. We proved that when we studied Vishnachakra Thakur's. So there is one conscious potency of bhakti which lends its nature in the practitioner in the stage of sadhana and discloses itself fully in prema. So the means and end are the same in bhakti. The effect of cause effect relation is just for our general understanding, and the comparison is to the ripe and the unripe mango. It is that one same mango. And then we saw ahaituki apratihata. Ahaituki means without any motive, and apratihata means it is not interrupted. It's not interrupted. So if I remember, we completed our discussion here. We completed our discussion here. So let's continue with the discussion here. And every statement, if anyone has any questions, please do raise your hands. In the verse under discussion, the two adjectives of bhakti, ahituki and apratihata, indicate that bhakti being referred is sadhya bhakti, perfected stage of devotion. Now, again, carefully try to understand this verse, the statement, sorry. The two adjectives of bhakti is what? Ahetuki, apratyata. Ahetuki and apratyata. Indicate that bhakti being referred to is sadhya bhakti, the perfected stage of devotion. So, what does this statement mean? Please raise your hands if you would like to share. Please think about the statement and raise your hands. What does this statement mean? Anyone? One hand has been raised. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Here, Sadh Bhakti, it refers to Suddha Bhakti, which is nothing but Bhava and Prema level.
Yes. So, even sadhana bhakti is referred to Shuddha bhakti.
But again, Prabhu,
Sadhana bhakti is also referred to Shuddha bhakti. Okay. Yes, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is it that continuously there is a spontaneous flow of pleasing Krishna and what Krishna is feeling, and automatically the goal is achieved? You can correct me, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. You are quite right. In fact, in sadhana bhakti, the qualities of ahetuki and apratyata are not fully fulfilled. Apratyata means without any break. In sadhana bhakti, because of the anarthas, although Shuddha sadhana bhakti is very elevated, we are practicing the anartha sometimes acts as obstacles, internal obstacles. So the apratyata is not fully, able to, criteria is not being fully fulfilled. Only when that sadhana becomes more and more intense and comes to the stage of almost asakti, then, in fact, ahetuki also, uh, to subtle impurities like, mukti spurha there in sadhana bhakti, and bhukti spurha, subtle levels are there, purification is happening. But as sadhana bhakti matures into sadhya bhakti, especially in raganuga sadhana bhakti, uh, please remember raganuga sadhana bhakti is part of sadhana bhakti. And in raganuga sadhana bhakti, the bhakti ahetuki and apratyahata criteria is more fulfilled. And this sadhana bhakti, when it matures, especially raganuga bhakti, when it matures to bhava bhakti, before that, raganuga sadhana begins from nishta, ruchi, and asakti. So at asakti, at at the level of asakti in the mature stage, the ahetuki and apratyata is fully manifested. So it's almost asakti is almost at the end of sadhana bhakti and the beginning of bhava bhakti. So ahetuki and apratyata is only fulfilled, the criteria is fully fulfilled in sadhya bhakti, that is bhava bhakti. That's the point. So from the bhakti rasamrit sindhu perspective, if you see this, the Kanishta Adhikari has Adhikar to practice bhakti. The Madhyama, he has to qualify himself to Madhyama. And then the Uttam Adhikari. So the Uttam Adhikari still is a Adhikari, candidate for practicing Shuddha Bhakti. And when Uttam Adhikari, this level is mentioned as Asakti stage. So when he becomes qualified to practice Shuddha Bhakti, the Uttam Adhikari, from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu perspective, please remember, then his bhakti is ahetuki and apratyata. That's the point. I hope it is clear. Ahetuki means without any motive, because bhakti itself is a nature of bliss. It is completely fulfilling to the self. As a consequence, engagement is bhakti is not impelled by any ulterior motive. So please mark the statement and try to understand the statement. The bliss in chanting of doing the angas of bhakti itself impels to do us more and more bhakti. So one is engaged, not impelled by any other motive. My authorities will scold me if I don't do my 16 rounds. All this is in the Vaidhi stage or before that. One has got so much taste and the bliss what he's experiencing in bhakti that impels him. Bhakti himself itself impels him to do bhakti, and that is why it is ahetuki, without any motive. The purpose of all actions is to be happy, which is the very nature of the. Alternatively, the word ahetuki can be taken to mean that which is without cause. So this is another meaning of ahetuki. Bhakti is understood as causes, since the only source of bhakti is bhakti itself. Bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. There is nothing external to bhakti that can give rise to bhakti. Now, the second adjective, apratyata, uninterrupted or unobstructed, indicates that the devotee never gives up bhakti. On all other paths, the means of attainment comes to an end once the goal has been achieved. So, in the path of Jnana Yoga, the Jnana limbs of the Jnana sadhana are the means, and the end is liberation. So, one here, he achieves liberation, it doesn't no more perform the Jnana sadhana. But here, the means is sadhana bhakti, the ends is sadhya prema bhakti. So, once he gets prema bhakti, he still continues performing sadhana. In the beginning, we chant, and in love of Godhead also we chant with deep love. So the angas of bhakti continue. In the case of bhakti, however, engagement in loving devotion becomes the liberated nature of the self, and thus continues even after attainment of perfected state. In ordinary life, we forsake one activity for another if we find the later to be more profitable or pleasurable. Since there is nothing more rewarding and satisfying than bhakti, a devotee has no reason to give it up. He has no reason to give it up. Conversely, one can also give up an action if it is distressful and there is some alternative action that is found to be less painful. So there is another way we might give up action if it is very distressful, or you find there is an alternative action that is found to be less painful. Since there is nothing more painful than being deprived of bhakti, one can never abandon it. The best example in this regard is that of the great devotee Prahlad. So this yesterday I was discussing. He was just a 5-year-old boy and hence quite helpless. His father Hiranyakashipu was a vehement atheist and the most powerful person in the three worlds. Yet he could not make his son give up bhakti. Although he tortured his own son in unimaginable ways, Prahlad never relinquished his bhakti, because giving that up would have been more painful for him than any act of torture meted out by his father. So the misery what the father was giving for him was nothing compared to the misery of giving bhakti. So that is a pratyata. That is a classic example of pratyata. So I hope this is clear, this point. So any questions anyone has up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so then we can continue the discussion. In order to further specify the nature of paradharma mentioned in 1 to 6, Shijiva refers to 1 to 13, in which Sri Suta declares that the perfection of dharma is giving pleasure to Sri Krishna. Haritoshanam. Perfection of dharma is to give pleasure to Krishna. In other words, the highest dharma is that which brings delight to Krishna. What brings delight to Krishna? Raise your hands. What brings delight to Krishna? Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam Prabhu.
Yes.
Like Lord sees the intention, not like what we do practically, but so what intention we have while doing bhakti. So that pleases. In a mood of devotion, if you do something, then Lord is pleased.
Again, let me reframe my question. Is Krishna pleased by Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Varnashram Dharma, or Bhakti Yoga? What pleases Krishna?
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga pleases Krishna. Varnashram Dharma pleases Krishna?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Okay, emphatically no. Okay. Ashokatma Prabhuji, you have a question or wanted to answer?
Yes, Prabhu, I would like to answer, Prabhu. Prabhu, what I understand, what pleases Supreme Lord Krishna is that any activity or any service which is performed just for the satisfaction of Krishna is always Lord is satisfied.
That is Bhakti Yoga. That is what the answer is. Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah.
Bhakti means Shuddha Bhakti, please remember. In other words, the highest dharma is that which brings delight to Krishna. Here is a proof. It is indeed only bhakti that can do so, as Sri Krishna himself divulges to them. No, okay, there is some disturbance. Kindly. न साध्यते माम योगो न सांख्यम धर्म उद्धव न स्वाध्यायस्तपस्त्यागो यथा भक्तिर mamorjita. My dear Uddhava, neither the practice of yoga, na sadhyate mam yoga, sankhya, na sankyam, nor attention to prescribed religious duties, dharma, this refers to varnashram dharma, nor the study of Vedas, na swadhyaya, nor penance, tapa, nor renunciation, tyaga, can subdue me as does all powerful devotion rendered unto me. Yatha bhaktir mama urjita. So this mama urjita is urjita bhakti. This urjita bhakti means it is Shuddha bhakti. Should remember that. This means that even if one follows the path of self-inquiry, Gyan Yoga, it has nothing directly to do with the pleasure of Bhagwan. Thus, bhakti alone is the supreme duty of every human being. So, Srila Jiva Goswami, please remember from various angles. First of all, he is proving what is the parodharma. It is bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. And it is not varnashram dharma. So that's what he's been trying to prove. And he's giving various quotations. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, celestial beings along with their virtues are firmly established in one who has pure devotion to Bhagavan. Yasyasti Bhagavati, Yasyasti Bhakti, Bhagavati Akinchana. This is the verse, Prahlad Maharaj. According to this statement, immediate awareness, jnana of Bhagavan's intrinsic nature and detachment from everything that is not related to him follow in the wake of bhakti. On this consideration, Suta Goswami makes the following statement. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yad ahetukam. Bhakti Yoga that is directed to Bhagavan Vasudeva quickly gives rise to detachment and causeless awareness. So, this Shuddha Bhakti, immediate awareness about Jnanam, awareness about Bhagavan's nature and detachment from everything, not related, follows. So, again, this Bhakti Yoga Prayojita is again Bhakti Yoga which has attained the Prayojan, the goal. That is Sadhya Bhakti. Sadhya Bhakti, immediately one realizes, one has complete realization of Krishna. Awareness of Bhagavan's intrinsic nature is clear. And there is detachment from everything which is not related to Bhakti. So to prove this statement, there is a quotation Jiva Goswami is giving. This is 1 to 7. The word ahetukam literally means without formal cause, is an adjective of awareness, jnanam. Jnanam yad Jnanam cha yad ahetukam. So this ahetuki, this jnanam, you can see here, ahetuki is an adjective to jnanam. Jnanam yad ahetukam. This jnanam is what type of jnanam? Ahetuki jnan. So it's an adjective to jnanam. Means that which is of the nature of the Upanishad revelation, which is inaccessible through formal logic and other similar means. So what this Jiva Goswami is saying, Upanishadic revelation, we will come to it a little soon. Hold on. The adverb ashu quickly implies that such wisdom is induced simply by brief oral reception of the truth true teachings. Bhakti is sometimes depicted as a lovely woman. Now this is there are some comments. Now this was all the Anucheda discussion. Now further explanation. Bhakti is sometimes depicted as a lovely woman with two sons, knowledge and detachment. Gyan and Varag. In the Padma Puran, there is that story of how Bhakti Devi, she had become Jara old and her two sons, they were dead. And later on, they got revived, Narad Muni. So Gyan and Vairagya are compared to two sons of that lovely woman, Bhakti Devi. The present verse 1 to 7 confirms the truth of this analogy. This truth is confirmed in 1 to 7. When a person is permeated by the consciousness and bliss that devotion to Bhagwan entails, he or she becomes fully satisfied at heart. This was stated in the previous Anuched. It naturally follows that from this that such a person will also lose interest in material sense pleasure, power, position, and wealth. So this kind of detachment symptom should come if he is experiencing uh, the practice of Shuddha Bhakti, which gives deep satisfaction in the heart. A person remains attached to these things as long as he is unaware of the superior beatitude available in Bhagwan. As long as he doesn't have that realization, jnanam, one abandons lower pleasures for a high one. Thus, detachment from material objects is a natural outcome of bhakti. So, we see that in the beginning stages only of our practice, there is detachment from the things of this world. But this is there's a battle going on, internal battle going on. So, when the bhakti matures, and especially at the stage of asakti where the mind is completely attached to only Krishna and detached from matter, then this detachment is complete, which will not return back. You have to understand that. Bhakti also bestows knowledge and direct experience of the supreme reality. Through the self-revealing power of bhakti, one can immediately intuit how Bhagwan is manifest in the form of the world. So whatever he sees, Tava Dekhi, Jangam Dekhi, Na Dekhi Tara Murti, Sarvatra Hoy, Ishtadeva Spurti. So that's what is his experience. Such awareness and experience is not possible by mere logic. So that was the point even Jiva Goswami made. I told you that this jnanam is that which is of the nature of the Upanishadic revelation. So now that explanation, that awareness being anointed with the eyes of prema, this is not something to do with the brain. It has to do with the heart. The heart which is uh, now impelled by, or the heart now which is infused by the Bhakti Shakti manifesting in the form of Ladini and Samvit Shakti in the heart. Infused by this, there is awareness. And this is not possible by mere logic. And the Katha Upanishads, Naisa Tarkena Matir, Apaneya. Apaneya. So this is the proof. When the mind and intellect are under the influence of material desires, they cannot perceive the higher truth. The word Gyan in this verse is qualified by the adjective ahetukam, causeless. This refers to that knowledge or insight which is not derived from any material cause. It is self-disclosed by the grace of bhakti. Internally only you will understand. By practicing bhakti, Well, internally, that knowledge is self-disclosed. You remember that famous story? One very scholarly Bengali person came to Gaudiya Math to meet Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He had heard about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was that one of the greatest philosophers. He was like a walking encyclopedia. So he was, you know, from a very high aristocratic background, considered himself very learned. So he straight came to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and he said, I have a very deep philosophical question. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you go and ask the Pujari. And he felt a little intimidated, you know. I've come, I'm such a great man and come to ask such a head of the Gaudiya Math and he's sending me to a Pujari there. So he is feeling like that internally. But then because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, okay, he said, let me follow. And he went to the Pujari. The Pujari, after doing the Aarti of the Lord, was cleaning the TT paraphernalia. And then the Pujari said, come, please help me in washing and cleaning it. So he did that activity. That act of engaging his senses in the Lord's service purified his heart. And the question what he had in his mind was answered. And then he was moving out, and Bhakti Siddhanta said, oh, did he get the answer? He said, yes, I got my answer. So this is, without any material cause. It is self-disclosed by the grace of Bhakti. The word Gyan here is not intended in its technical philosophical sense as the intuition of absolute oneness Brahman, since that would contradict the basic requirement of Bhakti. So this Gyan refers to not the impersonal Gyan. It refers instead to the awareness of Bhagwan's intrinsic nature and his potencies, such as the living beings and the world. So this refers to the Sambandha Gyan. What is the relationship between the Lord and me? What is the relationship with the Lord and this world? What is my relationship with this world and Lord? Seeing all these things, and having this world is Krishna Shakti, and the Shakti has to be used in the service of the Shaktiman. So all this awareness, realization dawns in his heart. Sri Jiva Goswami refers it as Upanishad Jnanam, knowledge or insight, self-disclosed to the Upanishadic revelation. It is a revelation. So the scriptures are called as revealed scriptures. Please remember, this is a term used. Revealed means it is a revelation. Now, I'm not having that adhikar that the scriptures will come and reveal me. Just like Vyasdev was revealed, Krishna, he saw Krishna, Maya, and the Jiva was caught in the Maya. So that was given in a divine revelation that is called as Vaidya Pratyaksha or Divya Pratyaksha. So he saw the Bhagavatam in a revelation and then he wrote it. So this is called as Upanishadic revelation, or it is called as revelation. So the Upanishads can be understood by looking within, looking out, and looking up. Looking up is revelation, where the Upanishads itself reveals to us in our heart. Now, looking within means, and looking out means, let me give you an example. When I say look within means, look at myself. This, Bhagavad Gita says, Dukkale Mashashvatam. So I've been experiencing also misery in material existence. Oh, what the scripture is saying is true. And look out means I see in the world there is suffering. Oh, the Bhagavad Gita statement is true that there is suffering. So this kind of awareness, and look up means actually in some divine, revelation, we really experience a revelation where this is miserable and we become highly determined. So the gyan is there, but sometimes that this material world is suffering, that vigyan might be lacking, that deep realization. So the Upanishads are revelation. So that's what here the term means. Okay. Any questions up till now? I hope things are clear. We are going slowly and systematically so that we can understand what is the flow of thought of Jeev Goswami in the Sandarbhas. Any questions up till now? Okay, so let me continue the discussion. Some people operate under the misconception that if one engages in bhakti, there is no need to study Shastra because ultimately everything will be revealed. It's revelation. So this is a this is a misconception people have. They claim that all knowledge becomes revealed by bhakti alone without any study of Shastra. There is no need of bhakti will reveal. This is not the intention of the verse quoted in this Anuched 1 to 7. Shri Jiva thus specifically glosses the word Ashu quickly with the phrase Ishat Shravana Matrena. Such knowledge is induced simply by a little listening to the truth teachings of Shastra. One has to hear the teachings of the Shastra. Not that, just everything will become revealed in my heart. No, you have to hear. The point is that without bhakti, one cannot understand Shastra even if heard repeatedly. If there is no bhakti in the heart, if you hear also, you will not understand. Being first rooted in devotion, one is meant to hear Shravanam, reflect upon Mananam, and immediately intuit Nididhyasam, the truth disclosed in Shastra. So there is bhakti residing. We remember Satam Kripa, by which the bhakti manifests in the heart. And because that bhakti is there, you do Mahat Seva. And then you start hearing. So hearing is an anga of bhakti. You have to hear the bhakti shastras. So as you start hearing, then you have to reflect on what you have heard and try to understand, get an insight, and then realize it. Nididhyasan is realize. Thus, Shvetashwar Upanishad says, Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deva tata guru tasye tasye takatahita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. The imports of the teachings described in this Upanishad are revealed only to that elevated soul in whom transcendental devotion for Bhagavan, Yasya Deve Parabhakti. First, there has to be devotion, is present, who feels the same quality of devotion for his Guru, Yatha Deva Tata Guru, as felt for Bhagavan. They refer to the Shastriya imports, Artha, delineated by the Guru. So I have devotion to Guru. So that means all the knowledge will be revealed? No. Katahita hi artha. The Guru speaks and you have to hear Shravan and understand the import artha. This implies that study is itself meant to be undertaken as one of the foundational limbs of bhakti along with the execution of other devotional acts. So you have to hear. And here and then manana means you have to repeatedly understand, contemplate. So that's why you'll have to study the Shastra. This is what the quotation the Guruji gave in the class. So you hear that, you recite it. Sutta statement also implies that one does not have to practice detachment or cultivate Gyan independent of Bhakti. The act of studying Bhakti related text or assimilating knowledge to enhance one's Bhakti are in and of themselves acts of Bhakti. Please remember, study of Bhakti Shastra literature is not Gyan. It is not Gyan. It is devotion. It is Bhakti. Because when you're studying Bhakti Shastras, you're hearing what the scriptures are saying. So that is Shravanam. It is an anga of Bhakti. It itself is an act of Bhakti. I hope this point is clear. Moreover, even if the word Gyan is taken to mean the immediate intuition of Brahman, it would indicate that such Gyan is naturally self-disclosed to one established in devotion to Bhagavan as a concomitant effect. So even if you take the term Gyan to mean Brahman realization, This Brahman realization is, self-disclosed for one who is practicing Bhagavan realization, because within Bhagavan realization, Brahman realization is included. Because Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. This is so because Brahman is implicit within Bhagavan. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Okay. So this is some of the points for this. Now, do you have any questions up till now? What we discussed? Sunita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I have a question that the Shastras need to be studied. Am I right? Whatever we have studied so far. So I have
Yes,
a question that mere Shravanam is not sufficient. Is it right?
that Shravanam is not sufficient. Firstly, we have to hear the Shastras from the spiritual master, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. We have to hear from the spiritual master. And what we have heard, after we hear, then we need to contemplate what we have heard. We have to go back. And when we are studying Prabhupada books, we are directly hearing from Prabhupada. It's as good as hearing from Prabhupada. So when we hear, then the stages of knowledge, development of education is there is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. So what you have heard, have I understood it? You have to understand what you have heard. Suddenly, oh, I see. This is what you mean. Oh, I see. When you say, oh, I see, it's not that you're seeing. That means, oh, I understand now. So this understanding is called as bodha. Bodha, intellectual insight. You should get an insight. Oh, this is what is the statement, the spiritual mastermind. Oh, this is how, and now I understand this, the meaning. So then when we understand, when we have deeply contemplated and understood, then we practice it in our life. When we practice it, we realize it. We realize it. Just to give a very simple example, like the mother tells the daughter how to make chapati. So she just speaks, you take the atta, pour water, and then mix it and make a dough, and then allow it to for some times to settle in, cover a cloth, and then make rolls, and then roll them and make the chapati. She just hears, the daughter hears. Based on what she has heard, now she does it, but something goes wrong and the chapatis are not forming or the atta is not well formed. So then, she has to again go back to the mother. Why? What is the reason? Oh, maybe you put more water. So then she, what she has heard, she understands by, actually deeply understanding what she has heard. So like that, oh, I missed that. The water quantity has to be. So like that, the understanding develops, and then, she's not able to make the fulka. So then when she eats, she finds out that it is kacha. It's not well cooked. So then what is the reason? So like that, you go through so many things in order to get a complete, fulka, chapati. So it all begins from hearing, but there is understanding, deeper understanding with that hearing, and then there is deeper realization. So when it comes to the level of realization, then your hearing is complete. So like that, we go through these stages of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan by hearing from the Guru or directly hearing Srila Prabhupada. So like that, a combination is required, and that is all practice of bhakti. It is all devotion. I hope it is clear.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Okay, Barinder Yadav Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, this Nidhi Dhyasan, does it refers to, it refers to Bhava stage?
No, Nididhyasan doesn't refer to Bhavasri. Nididhyasan is the realization of that knowledge. When that complete realization happens and you live by it, that is Nididhyasan. when you live by it, like I'll give you one example.
An application, that means.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was a 5-year-old kid, he just ate a mango without offering it. And his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, heavily reprimanded. How can you eat anything which is not offered to the Bhog, to the deity? He just heard it. And hearing it, he had the understanding. He developed the intellectual insight. He deeply contemplated, and the realization was so deep in his heart that he lived by it throughout his life. Never in his life he ever tasted a mango. Even when his spiritual sannyasis used to come and offer him mango, he used to not accept it. I'm an aparadi. That is Nididhyasan. He was living by it, that realization he had. So whatever we hear, that realization uh, has to get affected in us, and that takes a long time. That's why we need to repeatedly hear the subject. So why I'm repeating this series 1 to 6 to 1 to 22? We have heard Prabhupada's commentary, we have heard now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, and now we are hearing Jeev Goswami's commentary. Because only by repeatedly hearing and understanding, then the clear concept comes, and then we start practicing our bhakti with that understanding. So that's why we need to. That's what Nidhi Dhyasan means. I hope it is clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? So I'll just now start with the next verse under discussion, which is in Anucheda 5. So verses 1 to 6 and 1 to 7 are discussed in Anucheda 4, and Anucheda 5 discusses 1 to 8. Reasoning by means of Vyatirek, negative concomitants, Sutta Goswami says. So we know now what is Anvaya and Vyatirek. Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishvaksena katasuya notpaded yadi ratim shama eva hi kevalam. Varnashram dharma of the human being which does not produce attraction for topics of Lord is only wasted effort. So the same thing, Varnashram is not parodharma, is being proved. So this is parodharma, this is not parodharma. The same point has been proved by positive and negative assertion. Okay, these are part of the Anucheda only, which is in Sanskrit. Directly I'm putting in English. If conventional dharma, that is Varnashram, because it is devoid of immediate relation to the pleasure of Bhagavan Vasudev, does not induce rati, attraction, meaning a taste, ruchi, for hearing his narrations, Vasudeva Katha Ruchi, namely the description of his leelas, it is mere labor devoid of any fruit. That means, giving an example, a Brahmana is situated according to his Varna and his ashram also, and is engaged in Patan, Patan, Yajan, Yajan, Dan, Pratigraha, but he is not going to the sadhu and hearing Krishna Katha, Gita, and Bhagavatam, which are directly bhakti, and is not developing attraction for this, and he is only engaged in these activities of his Varnashram duties, then all that is Shama Evahi Kevalam. The taste for hearing the stories of Bhagavan, Katharuchi, has been specifically mentioned here because the taste for hearing is in every case the primary step and also the most significant. So, Swalpapi ruchis eva syad bhakti tattva vabodhita. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the first Eastern Way, first division, I think 1143, Rupa Goswami makes this Swalpa ruchi eva syad, this bhakti tattva. To practice bhakti, you need ruchi, taste for hearing Krishna Katha, from where everything begins. Na tarka, not by tarkam, not by logic, you cannot, because logic is gyan. Bhakti is transcendental to karma and gyan. So bhakti, you need taste. That taste is bestowed by the sadhus, the pure bhaktas, the pure Shuddha Bhaktas, they bestow that by speaking Krishna Katha and instilling the Bhakti Lata in our heart, and we develop that taste. The mention of a taste for Bhagwan stories implies a taste for other types of bhajan as well. So all others are also included. The emphatic particle eva, only, which is used to underscore the futility of such labor. Shama eva. Shama eva has been used. Indicates the perishability of the heavenly realm and other similar results that are the fruit of such goal-oriented prescriptivities. The Varnashram Dharma, you do all the Varnashram Dharma so that you can attain Punya and go to heaven. So that heaven goal, what you have attained, is Shama. Shama Eva. Definitely. Because Shine Punya Martya Lokam. When the Punya is exhausted, you come back. So that is why it is Shama Eva. The Varnashram duty is Shama Eva. In this particular regard, the word he, Shama Eva, he has been used. Now, every word Jiva Goswami is analyzing, you can see, indeed implies that this conclusion is corroborated by the evidence of the Shruti, as in the following dialectical statement from the Chandogya Upanishads. Tad yateha karma jito loka shiyante eva evamutra punya jito loka shiyante. Just as in this world, results acquired by conditional action perish. Tad yatheva yatha iha karma jito loka shiyante. Shiyante means it is exhausted, perish. So too in the other world, eva amutra. Amutra means in the other world. Punya jito, whatever punya is there, the results that is in heaven, the results attained through virtuous actions also come to an end. Punya jito loka shiyante. And Bhagavad Gita also says, Shine punye martyalokam vishanti. According to Amar Kosh lexicon, nirnite kevalam, the indeclinable word kevalam. Shama eva he kevalam. Now, till now we saw eva and he. He means definitely. It implies in conclusion. And this conclusion is from the Chandogya Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. Now, kevalam has been discussed. According to Amar Kosha, kevalam, the indeclinable word kevalam, also being used here to stress the fruitlessness of such labor. Shama, keval shama, keval sham, decidedly, that is what is kevalam. The word kevalam thus indicates that the immediate intuition gyan of the self or Brahman, there is Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. So both refer to Gyan, is unattainable as a result of prescribed action dharma performed simply as a matter of duty. If such nivritti dharma, the nivritti dharma is the path of Gyan, is devoid of devotion, and even if such insight Gyan is obtained at all, it is also transitory. So what to speak of karma is Shramaival Kevalam. Even Jnana, Atma, realization of self or realization of the all-pervading Brahman, that is also what? Transitory. Now to prove that, it is mentioned here. In this respect as well, the same word he implies this conclusion is validated by the evidence of Shruti in the following statement. So there is a quotation. The imports of the teachings described in this Upanishad are revealed only to that elevated soul in whom the transcendental devotion for Bhagwan is present and who feels the same quality of devotion for his Guru as felt for Bhagwan. So again, Yasadeva Parabhakti has been quoted. In the same connection, again, the word he implies that the above conclusion is validated, Shama eva he, through negative concomitants as well by scriptural evidence such as the following statements from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shama eva he kevalam is he is, this is the conclusion and it is validated by scriptural evidence. So three scriptural evidence Jiva Goswami gives. Naishkarmamyap achyut bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam कुतः पुनः शाश्वत भद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यद akaranam. Even Naishkarmya Gyan, Naishkarmya Mapya, the awareness that pertains to the very nature of Brahman, which frees one from all taints, Niranjanam, is inadequately illuminating, na shobhate jnanam, if devoid of devotional effect. Achyuta bhava varjitam, for Bhagwan Achyuta. Then, second quotation. Shreyashritim bhakti udasyate vibhu क्लिश्यन्ति ये केवलबोधलब्धये तेषामसो कलेश एव शिष्यते नान्यद्यथा स्थूल तुषवघातिनाम्. O Almighty Lord, those who disregard bhakti unto you, which is the only means of supreme blessedness, and strive instead to attain realization of the radical, unqualified, absolute. Kevala bodha labdate, are left to the end with nothing more than their own labor. Klishyanti eva, like those engaged in threshing coarse husk devoid of grain. Nanyadyata stula tushavagatinam. Just like, there is the husk. Inside that there is a grain. The grain is removed and keep on beating the husk. Nothing you're going to attain. And then the third quotation, Ye anya arvindaksha vimuktamaninas tvai asta bhava afishuddha buddhaye arur kuchena parampadam tata patantyado anadritishmada angraya. O lotus-eyed one, those who consider themselves as liberated, having elevated themselves to the elevated status through great hardship, but who then disregard your lotus feet, fall down from that position. So three verses are given. From these two verses, 1 to 7, 8 quoted at the beginning of Anucheda 4. One second. Oh, it's going wrong. Mouse is not working. Just a second. Anuched 4 and 5 respectively, it is understood that bhakti is independent, whereas Gyan and Vairagya depend on bhakti. In this manner, dharma is said to be fruitful only when it results in bhakti. Dharma is said to be fruitful if Varnashram dharma you are situated, so that ultimately you'll develop Vasudev Kataruchi and ultimately you'll do Angas of Bhakti by which you can satisfy Haritoshnam, then dharma is fruitful. Otherwise, Shrama Evahi Kevalam. Okay, so this is the part of Anujed, and then there are some important points with respect to that, which I will take in the next class. Any questions up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, two questions. Yes, Ashokatma Prabhuji.
Prabhu, I don't have question, Prabhu, but I am unable to get the previous classes,
Yes.
Prabhu, because
Yes,
sometimes I want to hear your classes.
Yeah, this series I will upload very quickly because I was traveling and I'm back now. So today I will download everything and I'll upload it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Priya Mataji, you have a question?
Yeah, Prabhuji, class was very good. No questions. I just want to memorize three stories which you told in the session. One was Bhakti Devi and Naraji related to knowledge and detachment, and one was Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj mango story. One more you had. I just want to, in case, just.
I don't recollect which one I
It's
told
okay.
story.
It's okay. Hare Krishna.
Fine, fine. Okay, anyone else? Any other question? This discussion of Jiva Goswami you might feel it a little taxing. but it will reinforce our deeper understanding, because it is very, very systematic, because it is a thematic study, and it will more help us to understand really what really bhakti is, what is the glory of bhakti. Having understood that glory of bhakti, when we start practicing that bhakti, then we will make swift advancement. So kindly stay tuned, and you know, it is a jnana tapasa. It is a jnana tapasa. But puta mad bhavam agata, Krishna says, Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mapa pashita bhavo jnana tapasa puta mad bhavam. What is that result of this jnana tapasa? Puta mad. You will become purified and you will attain bhava. Mad bhavam agata. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 4.10 says. So, repeatedly we should try to understand, every word, shama, eva, he, kevalam means it is only, so like that he is proving every statement, so that becomes very deeply ingrained in our heart and consciousness, by which we will practice bhakti very steadily. So we'll continue our discussion in the next class. Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, with these discussions, we understand that glory of bhakti is so, so great. But
Yes.
why this Jnani and Yogi? They don't, are they not aware of these glories, or they don't come in association of sadhu? How come they are bereft of this?
Yes, firstly, forget about Gyanis and Karma Yogis. We have to understand, we as devotees have to understand the glory of bhakti. And when we practice that bhakti, and because that bhakti is there in that, forget about Karmis and Gyanis, even those who are not at all qualified to practice karma and jnana, they can take up to bhakti. That is the potency of bhakti. And why these karmis and yogis are not attracted to the glories? Because they have desires to enjoy in this world, the karmis. They are asakta. And the jnanis are attracted to become free from birth, death, old age, and disease, the sufferings of this world. So they are mokshakami, and the karmis are sarvakami. So even they, uh, when they come in touch with somebody who's carrying this bhakti potency, then they can get affected by it, and then they will take up to devotion. That's why devotion is so powerful. Atmaramasya muneyo nirgrantapyarukrame kurvanti mahikuting bhakti ittam guta buna hari. So these are the qualities of Hari, and these are the qualities of Hari Bhakti. So the Bhakti has these qualities. So when we understand these qualities, even the Atmarams get attracted. So where it is lacking in us, where we don't practice, bhakti with this understanding. And when we practice that, and naturally we'll carry that bhakti shakti, and we'll be able to transform others. Prabhupada did that. Who knew about bhakti? Who knew about Bhagavatam before coming into Krishna consciousness? I had never heard about Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, at least little bit, everyone knows, because everyone in the world has heard about Bhagavad Gita. But who knew about Bhagavatam? Who knew about Chaitanya Charitamrita? Who knew about Gaur Nitai? Nobody knew about them. When Prabhupada carried that Bhakti Shakti and planted in, in the what kind of conditions? Completely unfavorable, in the hippie hearts, in the capital of Maya. He planted that, and can see what a revolution it has created. So we need to understand his glories, and when we carry that bhakti, then then we can, and everyone will get affected by it. That's the point. Is it okay?
Thank you.
Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. What I have understood in this is, Prabhuji, that whatever we do apart from devotional service is Shramaya Vahi Kevalam.
We should not consider like that. Like, our activities are required for maintaining our body. Like, somebody is working, he has to work to maintain the body. but he has to do his work in such a way that it is favorable for him to get to practice direct devotion. So, like that, his understanding should be there. Yes, I'm doing this because I still don't have complete faith that Krishna will take care of my family if I just do 24 hours bhajan. That faith has not developed, but he has to work in such a way. But he is not working so that I will become a millionaire here and I will do action so that I can become a big businessman. No, I work whatever is required to maintain my status and to maintain my family, which is family of Krishna only. So like that, in that right mood and consciousness, he should work, and he should completely in his heart be convinced that my goal is not to attain Swarga, because ultimately Shine Punne Marte Lokam. So that understanding will come. So that conviction is very strong, and then uh, as his conditional activities uh, uh, subside, then the more devotional activities will increase over a period of time, and then it is only devotion which should pervade. And even that time when he's on the transcendental platform, even if he does these activities, that activities don't hamper his pure devotion. So like that, we go through that transition and phases in our life. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. One more question, Prabhuji, please. When is that stage we can consider that Avashya Rakshibe Krishna? Because we are not at that stage. We realize that we cannot depend fully on Krishna. And then when we read also in the Shastras, it is said that we have to depend on Krishna. So a
Yes.
little.
Sharnagati has 6 limbs. Dainya Atmanivedana, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, Goptutre Varanam, Anukulesya Sankalpa, and Pratikulesya Varjanam. Of course, this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives it in Sharnagati. So we have to practice this limbs of Sharnagati by singing the songs of Sharnagati, and ultimately, Sharnagati is synonymous to Shraddha, and that Shraddha means Sarva Dharman Parityaja. So from there, pure devotion will begin. Till then, our devotion is mixed, and we have to develop these limbs of Sharnagati by which we can attain that faith, that deep faith that Krishna will protect me in any circumstances, and you're fearless. Because that also again means that you're on the liberated platform. You're Sthita Pragya. So that kind of deep faith will come. So, but we need to now practice the limbs of Sharnagati slowly, that we can come to that platform. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. But again, Sarva Dharman Parityaja means only devotional service.
Yes, that is pure devotional service. From there, pure devotional service begins. From Sharnagati, which is synonymous to Shraddha, that becomes the entry door to practice pure devotional service. Pure devotional service. That is firm faith. You have faith. Shraddha sabde Shraddha Shadve Vishwas Sudrida Nishtay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krit Hoy. All my duties are fulfilled if I do only Krishna Bhakti. That deep faith is there. And one is at that level of consciousness. So for that, the beginning stages also, we should practice that. Development of faith has to happen by regularly hearing, Krishna Katha. So that development of faith has to happen, and the songs of Sharnagati help us to further come to that stage quickly. So we should practice the 6 limbs of Sharnagati, and especially we should sing the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sharnagati bhajans. Okay. Jagdishwar.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat. Prabhuji, when you are starting the next topic, Saranagati, please inform us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.